Hello, can everyone hear me? Hi, I'm Utihime Cosplay. I'm super excited. This is my first ever D&D live stream, so this is super exciting, and it's for such a great cause. I'm going to be um, taking the role of Miroki, a half orc, a very sassy one at that, a very fierce and fabulous one. Let's head over to Sam. Sam, my dear.
I just unmuted. I hope everybody can hear me. My name is Sam. Sam Sawyer. I'm an artist. I do a bunch of different stuff. I've got a show that I'm working on called Salem, which is super fun. I do tarot decks and artwork and all that fun stuff. Um, and then, I got a cute dog. His name is Jasper. Super awesome. And I'm playing. Oh, who am I playing? I am an elven druid named named Ari. I don't know who I'm supposed to send the next one to. So anyone introduce themselves next. That
I
guy.
forgot to mention the fact that I'm a half orc ranger. That makes a difference. I think it was Dustin. Dustin, you're next, buddy.
Hey guys, my name's Dustin. Excited to be here. My name's Dustin. I'm playing a Arcacoa wizard, which is a bird. But a little bit about me is I do a podcast called The Final Boys. We talk about all things horror and cinema, pop culture. If you like that kind of stuff, you can follow us at The Final Boys. And really happy to be here and sharing stream time with you guys. And excited because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm playing a wizard, which apparently is really hard to do. So maybe not hard, but it's like technical, and I'm not that kind of person. Anyway,
You got this. You got this.
thanks, Amber. It's up to you now.
I'm gonna take those reins. There they are. Hi, you guys. How's it going? Welcome. I am so grateful that you are all here today. I see in chat a couple of familiar faces from my Twitch channel, so that's so exciting that you guys got the memo that we were going to be over here today. Again, my name is Amber Skies, and I am a cosplayer, a streamer, a maker of stuff on the internet. Oh, hey, Geek Life, I hear you. Do you hear me? No, I hear you. Oh, they can't hear you. Okay, never mind. I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, anyway, sorry I got distracted by that. I'm going to be playing a really cool character today. Her name is Lenore, and she is a half-elf cleric, a mighty level 5 half-elf cleric. And she has some pretty hilarious little quirks about her regarding the deities that she worships. And the quirks that go on with this character. So I've always loved elf type characters, so I dressed the part today. I've got my Renaissance Festival headpiece on here. But yeah, we're doing great. We're ready to party today. And I would also like to introduce you to my other half and another member of this awesome adventure today. Take it away. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Alyssa, and I'm this one's counterpart / handler. And in my spare time, I read, and I'm pretty boring.
Not at all. But tell them that how many times have you ever played D&D before?
This is my first time ever.
Ever.
Period. So I've done a lot of research, and I will be playing Primus Ironhide, which is a paladin minotaur. And I've done some research on him. Thank you so much, D'Angelo, for your guidance through this entire process, because I am level 0 experience.
You're a level 5 character, but you have 0 personal experience in D&D,
Right.
which is going to make it even more fun. Because when we agreed to do this, we were like, this is going to be amazing. I've played D&D like 4 times ever before, and I'm at least familiar with how streaming works. Alyssa's played 0 times before and has streamed 0 times before. So I was like, talk about just throwing you into the fire and figuring it out as we go along. But it's going to be amazing. And I see Final Boys getting all dressed up over there. I see Sam has assumed her ultimate form, which is a hobgoblin. You're not a hobgoblin. I love you to pieces. But guys, there are 19 of you viewing this stream right now. We are so stoked that you're here. We are figuring out some minor hiccups right now in regards to audio and streaming. So you'll see D'Angelo working really hard over there, getting the audio output figured out. But in the meantime, I was going to say Utahime, Sam, myself, Alyssa, Final Boys, we are all here to to hang out with you guys. And as a reminder, this is all for a very, very good reason that we are here today. Charity organization for COVID-19 and Millennium. Woo! So, enormous thank you to the Geek Life as an organization already right now, because they have already put us at 10% towards our goal. We are trying to raise over the course of today $1,000. $1,000 to make some magic and make a positive change. So if y'all feel like contributing to that, if you are having a good time today and you're enjoying what you're seeing and you want to make a change, a positive difference in the world, we will be taking your donations and passing them on to the best causes in the world.
And let's not forget that when you guys do that, you have a chance to dictate what happens to us in this story.
Precisely.
So either you can almost kill us off or you can help us out. So there we go. That's the fun in it. And also too, hey, there's some giveaways. There's a
Tell us
chance
about
to
those.
win. So there's sets of dice. There's some swag, the Geek Life swag. Who doesn't want that? And also to my friends at Ripper Blades, it's giving away a Black Onyx Dark Saber. When I say this is a boss saber with a hilt, a custom cosplay hilt. So you want to get your hands on this. It's valued almost to, and they're giving it away because you guys are awesome and contributing to
dude.
2 amazing causes. So yeah, definitely a lot to be excited about today.
That's amazing. So not only do they get to influence our world as it happens, and they get to play like God mode and, you know, make terrible thunderstorms or heal us from death
Yes.
via donations, which is super cool as a concept, but there's dope prizes involved.
Yes.
Dope.
Dope.
Final boys, I gotta know what's going on your face right now.
This is my first
check.
attempt at making
Can you guys hear me okay?
cosplay.
You look amazing.
It's supposed to be a
Well done.
peak.
Oh, is it?
Like a
Okay.
peak, and
Oh,
it's
thank
gonna
God.
come up here.
Rob, I love you. You're amazing. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I mentioned it, but I'm playing a like a 7-foot, 300-pound bird creature.
Press 1 in
named
chat
Sheldon Cooper.
if you can hear me
Ooh.
on stream.
That is cool.
That sounds familiar.
Let's see.
It's COOP apostrophe.
All right.
Hey, who's Ken in the chat? Thank you so much
Okay.
for letting me know. I'm gonna try and up my microphone.
No, I think
a
I could
little
do
bit,
it.
'cause apparently, I sound a tad quiet. Can you do it?
Yeah, I should be able to do it right here. So
I
let
was
me know.
gonna say, I think Geek Life is gonna turn my volume up, so we'll see if that helps.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I stressed out so much. Okay, good. Rob is a saint. He took a call immediately and was able to fix my audio, so we should be good. Thank you guys for buying me time to do all this. So let me go ahead and modify a few things really quick.
A Goody, quick question. A Goody in chat says way loud. Who is way loud? Is there one of us that's way loud, or are we
is
all
it
way
me?
loud? Let's see.
Let me see. Mic check.
Thank you for helping us. We don't want to blow any eardrums out today.
All right, there we go. Thank you guys again for bearing with us. I really appreciate it. There's always some sort of wiggles that go on, so thankfully it's not too bad. And yeah. All right, Utami was way louder. She should be fixing it now, though. And then, all right, so can each one of you, starting with Amber, say my favorite color is, and whatever your favorite color is?
My favorite color is sky blue.
All right, and then Utahime?
My favorite color is purple.
All right, and then Sam?
Also purple.
And then Sheldon Cooper, a.k.a. Dustin?
My favorite color is also purple.
All right. So out of all of them, is there anyone that's drastically louder? Okay, D'Angelo's louder than all the other channels. And all right, perfect. All right, cool. I think we should be healthy and good now. Oh my God. That totally threw off my game. Anyways, thank you all for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Like Dan mentioned, we're raising money for wonderful, great causes. And for a real talk moment, the story that we're about to embark on features characters that have might and magic and will face overwhelming odds of fantasy and fiction, and will have all sorts of obstacles that they'll have to overcome that may actually cause real emotion in the players, where they might be dread or happiness or what have you. But at the end of this session, what will happen is that the game will end, those troubles will stay here, and that's it. But in the real world, we do face a lot of real struggles, and that is what we're here for today, to raise money for wonderful causes, to provide medical supplies and support for those nurses and doctors and hospitals that desperately need it, and then also for raising money to help those who have been incarcerated wrongly, or like for protesters who have been arrested, or anything like that that need legal support, to be able to get that to help the Black Lives Matter movement, because it affects a lot of people. And as you can see from our guests, we have wonderful, beautiful human beings that come from all different walks of life. Some of them may be LGBTQ, others are people of color, and all sorts of in between. And we're all coming together because we truly believe in these causes. And yeah, once again, thank you again for being a part of this. And we will go ahead and like get right into it, since we are a little bit behind schedule, but not too much. Okay, so.
Holy cow! Let's also just talk about the donations that just rolled in.
Oh
cow.
wow, yeah.
Holy cow! I
You're
saw
welcome.
Gorgon coming in. I saw Sam coming in, and Mariachi Time Lord coming in as well. Thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. And then also the Geek Life will be donating $100 for this thing just to kickstart it and everything. But you guys are already above and beyond everything, so that's awesome. And I think we actually had a $60 donation prior to the stream that's not showing up on there, but still counts and is valid. So we're gonna do everything we can to like raise money. Bless you.
Bless you. Now, D'Angelo, all they have to do is click on that donate link, right? Exclamation point donate, or is there another link that we should be?
Correct.
looking at?
Yeah, so if they do, exclamation mark donate, it should give them the link, and then they should be able to press it, and then go in there. Thank you, Gorgon. Thank you, Sam Sawyer with $100. Jesus. And then Mariachi Time Lord, appreciate you, dude. And thank you again. Oh my god, my heart is so full right now. All right, cool. So we will get into it. So going into it, it has been 5 years since the demigod Leandros, the mightiest of Minotaurs, has laid siege to the city of Temecula with an army of beastmen. Everything was cool, good vibes, Avatar style, 4 nations living all in harmony. And then all of a sudden a fleet of beastmen, which are centaurs and satyrs and minotaurs, rolled up and just began to decimate the land. The great city walls of Temecula fell within days, leaving all in ruin or in chains. Those who surrendered now served to make statues honoring the Minotaur Lord and serving as conscripts to assist in conquering other neighboring lands. Now you all have come from different walks of life. Whether you have served the beastmen willingly or stood against them, it no longer matters, because one way or another you find yourselves sitting in cages. Right now you guys are being transported. Now this only applies to... actually, did you guys say your name for your character?
Yes.
Okay. Really quick, could you repeat the
Maybe.
names?
Did
Because
we?
I was like totally distracted. So let's go with Utahime first.
I am playing Miroki. She's an half-orc ranger.
Perfect. So Miroki. And then Sam?
Playing a elven druid named Ari.
Ari. There we go, Ari. Look at that. And then Dustin?
I'm playing an Arcacocra wizard named Sheldon Cooper.
Perfect. I love it. So one thing to keep note that I told the players that if they make any sort of attempt to dress up as their characters, they get a +1 to all rolls. And we can see that like Utahime and Dustin have totally, and also Amber Skies and Alyssa and even Sam have all like done it to like be their characters in some way or shape or form. So it's so cool. And someone commented earlier that like you asked cosplayers to like dress up, what do you think was gonna happen? And then sure enough, magic happens. So it's good. So you three are currently in a cage being transported down a long and winding side of the mountain sort of road that is like cliff facing. So there's no guardrails or anything like that. And the carriage you're in and the cage that's holding you is made out of wood and rope and everything. And you see that it's you three who have just been captured, and you're exhausted, beaten, and wounded. Are like chained together with like a link and then chain, and then that goes under a little like holster and then chained to your companion. And in the actual cage with you is a Goliath that doesn't quite look very happy to be there, obviously. And it's kind of mocking because the area around you It has a very gentle breeze of springtime. The water and the air smell like so crisp as you hear like various wildlife begin to like just live their lives of freedom as you are like subjugated to being prisoners, being transported for execution. Now, at the front of the cart that's actually transporting you is a satyr who just kind of like guides the horses to like move forward. And there's also a giant minotaur clad in armor that is dented and like seen a lot of action, who looks very conflicted and all that. And then yeah, so while you guys are traveling in this cage down this road, would you guys like to say or do anything to one another? And you guys probably haven't ever interacted with each other at all.
That actually that's my seat. I was sitting there. That was like where I was sitting. So, that's kind of my seat. So please, if I can please just sit there.
And who are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I mean, you're sitting. You're just sitting in my seat. So,
Listen, Birdman, this is my seat. You can find your own seat somewhere else.
I respect that, but like, I kind of claim that seat. I've always sat there. So.
Well, it's my seat now, so
Yeah, you're right. I'll just try and sit somewhere else.
that's what I thought.
To me.
Perfect.
You know, it doesn't really feel right if I can just sit in that seat, please. I mean,
You are so bothersome, just like a little bird that you are. Just stop. This is my seat, okay?
yeah,
Okay?
you got it. Right.
And Primus, you are actually sitting in the front seat, guiding them and hearing them bicker and moan to each other. Is there anything you'd like to do or say?
What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's figure this out.
You just talk to them too. Like they're fighting. How do you feel about that?
So can everybody just calm down? A seat's a seat. People just want to sit.
Yeah,
Why do we have to argue about it?
You
It was
hear
like
We're all
my-
going to the
my
same
seat.
place, right?
I've always sat there. Anytime
Listen,
we've
you
ever
need
been
to tell this
together, I've sat
bird
in that seat.
guy over here to stop bothering me. Because next thing you know, that beak is going to be torn right off of his face.
And it is my job to get all of you there in each individual one piece. So if you take that beak off, I'm going to rip that paint right off your face.
So
You're gonna
at
do
this
what?
Uh-oh.
So at this moment, while everything is going on, you see the Goliath that's also with you, who's missing an arm and various teeth and is wounded from his last battle. He like spits in the cell, which is bloody and gross, and like kind of steals the attention from you guys in the actual cage. And then he goes, "Leandros, this," and he just committed like what is kind of like a taboo. If you have watched the Harry Potter franchise, people don't speak Voldemort's name lightly, and that's the kind of same thing here with Leandros. There's a myth that he's able to hear you and knows where you are, and if you utter his name, he will come and find you and kill you. So it's very like shocking that he just uttered the Minotaur like king's name, and he goes, "Leandro this and Leandros that," and his voice raises. Has anyone ever even seen this Minotaur demigod? As he looks to you guys, and the answer is no. You guys have never seen this demigod. Do you answer him at all for his call out?
Well, I was trying to challenge that coward Leandros to get more honor from Ares. He's the ultimate god, so I want to impress him, and I was trying to challenge him, but that coward sicked his little minions on me, so that's why I'm here right now. That coward, if I got a chance, I'm telling you, I'd rip off his
And
legs
he-
from his body.
And he goes,
And what makes you think Ares is the god of gods?
How could you not? Are you serious? He's not only the manliest of all the gods, he's a brilliant strategist. He does not care what it takes to win a war. He's destructive, powerful. He's the most powerful of all the gods. How are you asking me then? Have you not heard about
I've heard.
the greatness of Ares?
I've heard. But I don't believe anything is more powerful than an incredible, mighty Minotaur.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my goodness. Oh, you poor thing.
so at
I'll
this
have to
moment,
do something.
Nervousness grabs hold of your gut as the Goliath continues his rant and goes, Leandros is a coward. He, uses powers beyond his means. He's blessed by the gods. He shouldn't even be in this conflict, and he's just like a piece of shit, and just like continues to rattle off various insults. And for those of you actually facing out of the cage, which is probably Ari and Sheldon, you do see a flicker of movement in the corner of your eye. If you'd like to do perception checks, you can. No one else in the cart really sort of notices. Thank you, Gorgon, for the donation.
Oh wait, was that me?
All right, then. So,
do you want me to tell you what my perception check was?
Yes, yeah.
21.
21? Damn. All right. So, your hawk eyes end up. What kind of bird are you, by the way?
Arcacoa, so I'm I don't identify as a bird per se, but if I were to put a bird to me, I'd probably bald eagle.
Bald eagle? Okay. So with your bald eagle eyes, you're able to perceive a very golden, runic carved sort of javelin, going through the air and just flying at immense speed to the point where you can start hearing it actually whistle. And it looks like it's coming towards your direction completely. Is there anything you'd like to say or do?
Yeah, I'd like to say I think there's something coming towards us at extreme speeds.
Okay, so the Goliath ends up speaking over you and goes Leandros is spineless, he's no good, he's a tyrant whose mother, and immediately, right then, a screech pierces all of your guys' eardrums as it just ends up landing into his chest, this javelin, and crashes into the ground that shatters the cage all around you, and everyone, including Primus, who's at the front, feels this tremendous shake as it then breaks the ground beneath you, and you all tumble and fall off the cliff and into raging rapids below, still chained to various parts of the wagon and all that sort of stuff. So at this time, while you're plummeting and falling, I'm going to have everyone go ahead and do an either athletics or dexterity check to try to move away from the debris or to make a safe landing as much as possible.
Are we all connected to each other?
Correct. So we're going to say that Sheldon Cooper is attached to Ari, and Miroki, Miroki? Yeah, okay, Miroki is attached to the Goliath, who is now decimated, and maybe his arm is still attached, so it's not that big of a weight difference. And you guys are all plummeting, so go ahead and roll a d20 plus your dexterity modifier, or athletics or acrobatics. Yeah.
Okay, I got a 13.
Primus experienced on their very first D&D roll on a D20 a critical failure and rolled a 1. But they do have a +7 to their athletics, so that kind of redeems that.
What are you talking about? I rolled a 7.
No, you rolled a 1 and then it added 7.
Yeah, so just for everyone if they've never played Dungeons & Dragons before or anything like that, whenever you get a natural 1, it's the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to you.
For your first roll, maybe.
Yeah, for a natural 20, it's actually the best outcome that could ever possibly happen. So we'll go with Primus first, as we just got that announcement. So with the natural 1, you have a fear of heights, and maybe you realized it before, but now you absolutely know it as you find the ground, or at least the raging rapids is coming towards you at a accelerating pace, and you kind of pee yourself as you feel the pieces of the wagon and all that kind of stuff batter into you and bash into you and everything like that. So you're gonna go ahead and take 2 points of damage for you, and that's me being benevolent and kind. Just keep them in mind. And then so Sheldon, what was yours?
Can I use my flight to maybe even soften my landing slightly? But I have a 17 plus 2 plus 1, which is
yes. So for yes, for one thing, Dustin, yeah, you can use your flight to Rob, for the donation for the Ripper Blades, you need a $25 donation or more to be entered into that actual giveaway, just so that everyone's like aware. I forgot to like actually put those things in there. If you've donated, you are already like involved in various like giveaways that are going on that we'll announce a little bit like later and all that kind of stuff into like the breaks and everything. Okay, so going back to Dustin. You stretch your wings out, your bald eagle wings, like wings out, and go ahead and use an athletics check to try to see if you have enough strength to hold both you and Aerie from just like plummeting to the actual rapids.
It was 20. Again? Do it again?
A natural 20?
No. It was 17 plus 2 plus 1.
Oh, dirty 20? Okay, right. So...
Dirty 20.
Yeah, you are very strong, so you're able to like it kind of like whips a little bit Aerie at the who's hanging from it, but you are able to hold her. So Sam, you automatically succeed in this because of the strength of like your companion, and then Miroki.
Thank goodness. I rolled a 2.
Mine was a 13, then plus the 1, so it's 14.
14. Okay.
Yes.
So you're gonna take half damage. Oh, so 1. So as you're plummeting down, things are hitting you, but you're mostly ducking and dodging them, or you're just so strong that even though it hits you, it just shatters upon your rippling abs and like muscles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then you all fall into the actual raging rapids. You look up around for any sort of help you can find, but you only find the other caravans that were with you transporting people to be executed that stop to watch your demise for a moment and then just continue on, because Leandros is known to be very petty, and anyone who talks bad about him usually ends up with such a fate and all that. Thank you for the donations, Maya and Tony. And then yes, so no amount of flailing strength or knowledge can save you now, as the speed at which the water carries you launches you through the water and then finally off a sheer cliff, off a waterfall, as you see the area around you. For just a brief moment, it looks like immensely beautiful with its like lush hills filled with life and peaceful clouds and wildlife going to and from. And then you begin your descent as you just plummet to the ground, feeling the rush of air, and you just drop into the actual ocean. And to your surprise, immediately before you can even do anything, while all the debris are still falling around you, you end up looking into an actual conflict between two merfolk. Now, merfolk are, for your general knowledge, like the traditional mermaids, just a gender neutral term. And then there are also, I think it's Thessalians. Imagine Ursula, how they're humanoid up top and like octopus at the bottom. And there are two of these like different races, one clad in purple violet armor and the other one clad in bronze armor, and they're in a dirty, like brutal conflict, as you all just immediately see this. And while you're seeing this, your equipment is also falling with you and into the safely, thankfully, around you to equip yourselves with some sort of like offense and defense. And D'Angelo's my brother, I know him. Oh god. And then and yeah, so what I'm gonna need you to do, or actually sorry, what happens at this point is while you're in this water, the merfolk in particular are just beating the shit out of the people in clad purple armor, one of which is Lenore, who is there with a giant symbol of All Might on her chest, who is foreign and exotic to all of you. You've never ever heard of All Might in your lives, or seen his image, but there she is. And
Plus
she's
Ultra, my friends. Plus
Yes.
Ultra. Plus Ultra to all of you. Thank you for being here.
And she is one of 3 of the violet-clad warriors that are still alive. 2 of them are grievously wounded as she's fighting for her life, trying to defend everything. And the bronze-clad mermaids and mermen are just beating them to death. And they look back to see you, and they go, "Ha! Glory is ours. We slaughter not only the heretics, but now the landwalkers," as they point to all of you in your vulnerable state. A bronze and teal soldier shouts to his companions as they swim over with trident in hand at the ready to then slaughter you guys. Despite being thrown into rapid raging rivers and off and everything, now you're also going to be... The order changed. I think it'll change back once... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. So, what I'm going to need you all to do is go ahead and roll an initiative check, because you have some merfolk who hate that you walk on land and they want to slaughter you, unless you would like to take the path of peace, where you will be attacked, but you don't attack back. Whatever you want to do in this situation. And if you need help with initiative checks, definitely let me know.
So all of us.
What die do we roll for an initiative check?
So you'll roll a 1d20, and then on your character sheet you'll see initiative, which should be right next to like your armor class. And then let me know where your result is, and we'll start with Miroki.
Mine is a nat 20.
Damn! Alright, so that's good. And then we're going to go, Aerie actually looks at the situation, and she chooses to, like, raise her arms up and just, like, stay out of the conflict as best as possible. And then for Sheldon.
I'm gonna roll.
And don't forget, you all get +1s to your rolls because you all dressed up as your character or made some attempt. Yeah.
14.
So a 14, and then we're gonna go with Lenore.
13 for me.
Was that 15?
13.
13. Okay, 13, and then Primus.
2.
2. It's okay. You're fine. You're good.
Well, no, I had like 2 minus 1 initiative, which made it 1, plus 1 for dressing up, which made it 2. So 2. Roller coaster of sadness.
Plays D&D, it gets only ones.
Wow. Holy shit, guys. We're at $686 right now for it. So
Let's
we're
talk
already...
about that.
Yeah, Jesus. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. All right.
That's amazing.
So now the merfolk, those friendly neighborhood merfolk.
Can we try to gather our belongings and put on our armor as we see them heading towards us?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that you guys were already in your like armor. You just got captured and then like just chained immediately. Your weapons were taken from you, but now they're plummeting conveniently in front of you as they're within arm's reach as you like kind of grasp them and everything.
Perfect. That's amazing.
All right, so now merfolk.
Also, by the way, you guys, hi, I'm Lenore. I'm kind of all alone. Do you mind if I like tag along with you guys? Because I'm sort of getting attacked here. I don't really know.
Do you have to fight in combat?
Yes, I'm quite skilled in the ways of good word. Yes, all right, thank you. I just was, I'm kind of screwed if I stay by myself. So, yes, thank you.
So what happens in the situation is you guys are all submerged underwater. Lenore is a half elf, right?
I am a half elf.
Perfect. And you have various runic armor that allows you to move swiftly underwater, so no problem at all for you. And you have a giant like retro like space helmet that's made out of a bubble that you can see it all around you that allows you to breathe. For the rest of you, you're like holding your breath as much as possible. Every round of combat is about 6 seconds, so it's not like too obnoxious to like have you guys to have an underwater combat, but definitely time is of the essence while you're in this situation. So first one up is Miroki. So you are faced with, it looks like 4 merfolk that are all spread out. There's 2 right next to Lenore, and there are 2 right in front of you guys, both with tridents in hand, racing after you, and they are they're about like 30 feet away from you. Yeah.
Because I'm a bit crazy. I'm going to use my javelin of lightning.
Oh shit. Nice.
Because these merfolk want to challenge a servant of Ares, so they're gonna feel his wrath. So as that happens, I'm pulling out my javelin, and I say, "By the power of Ares!" and I throw it in order to try to hit them.
Underwater, it's like gargled.
If they're in, are they in line with one another?
They are not. It's like spread out with about 5 feet between them. Actually, you know what? I'll have
someone directly. There's 2 directly in front, correct? At
correct.
30 feet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm aiming for them.
Perfect. So you take your javelin, you lean back, and then you like launch it forward. So go ahead and roll a 1d20, and then plus your stuffs.
So that was a 16.
A 16, you absolutely hit. As they have like a sly grin on their face, thinking they've got it all, under control. As they rush towards you with trident in hand, they didn't realize that what they were actually getting into. As they see your javelin crackling with lightning and energy as it shoots forward, at an immense strength and speed, and then go ahead and roll damage.
So this is did it hit them?
Yes.
Okay, because then it's 4d6.
46. Okay. Jesus.
So that is 12.
12 damage. Okay.
Yes, and then it's an additional once it does hit with lightning, I have another 1d6 because it turns into a normal javelin.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the d6. Oh, afterwards. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so with that, we're gonna say you get increased damage because it's on lightning. Go ahead and do a dexterity check for me. Actually, let's do a constitution check to see if you underwater can withstand your own electricity and lightning from your javelin.
So apparently I do not. That was a 3.
A 3? Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna take 6 damage. As you set it up,
It's worth it.
and everyone is looking at you in awe as they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it just illuminates in lightning and just lights up the entire area, and everyone turns their heads to watch you as you throw it and decimate 2 of the soldiers immediately as it just goes through one and pierces the other one, and they look wide-eyed as just black blood just fills the actual sea and just kind of creates a mist and all that kind of stuff, and they are
I took
slaughtered.
3 or 6. Did you say 6 damage?
You took 6
3?
damage. Yeah.
6 damage.
And then perfect. After that, it's gonna go to Sheldon. So there are 2 left. One right in front of you, and the other one right next to Lenore. We're gonna say.
Am I in the air or am I in the water?
You are in the water. You took no damage from the falling, and you succeeded your check for that. But you are in the water. Yeah. Still chained to Aerie.
Can I try and pick up I'm sorry, what's your name that's connected to me?
Moroki. Or my friends call me Kiki.
Wait, who
If I had any friends.
Moroki's attached to me?
Aerie is attached to you. Moroki has the severed hand of the Goliath that was in the wagon, which has gone from this world.
Oh, I thought that you meant who was above you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Can I use my talons to try and dash up out of the water? Obviously taking Aerie with me.
Yeah, go ahead and do an athletics check. Now you're gonna roll disadvantage because you're underwater. Also, you're attached to another human being, or at least, what race are you, Sam? Is it Tiefling or elf? Half elf? Okay, there you go. High elf. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, Dustin, give us that roll.
How do I roll disadvantage? I roll twice?
Correct. Yeah, you're gonna roll twice, and then you're gonna take the lowest of the 2.
21.
Oh, that's your lowest?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. I'm gonna have to inspect those dice. Okay. So, with the 21, you do you definitely ate your spinach right before you got captured and all kind of stuff because you are flexing and strong, and you use your bird-like strength to shoot up out of the actual ocean and breach the surface as you just breathe in a ton of air, fresh air, as you look down and see everything. Yeah. And then what would you like to do? You still see your targets in there, the shadowy figures of them. So if you wanted to do a range attack, you totally could, or whatever.
Can I yell at Ari and be like, can you still hit him from up here? I can't find my wand.
Then Ari dangles from the chain as she looks up at you and says,
This fucking sucks.
she says,
Can we I might have a bit of a plan if you want to maybe not kill anybody. That's good for you.
She yells up to you while you guys are both coughing and breathing heavily.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I hate confrontation. I'm okay with that plan.
Okay, good. Pick me the fuck up because this sucks. Like, hold me.
Hold me.
Your wings are flapping while you pull the chain and you Lois Lane her up. And then... All right. Do you want to have a
Thank you.
conversation right now, or do you just want to pass in your turn to go to the next one?
I'm gonna pass on my
mean-
turn.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna pass on my turn. I wanted to get up out of the water.
That works.
Well, so I can read what my character can and can't do.
Go for it. All right. So after that, it's gonna go to Lenore. So you were there in shining clad armor. Of
That
all
can
might.
breathe just fine.
Exactly. No problems whatsoever. Even if they attack your bubble, it still has its own defenses, so you're totally fine. And you see that there is now only one merfolk that's in front of you, as it's looking at the like destroyed corpse of its who used to be its friend. It's like looks to him and just goes like, "Freak, no!" And then yeah, and now it's your turn.
Wonderful. And just to clarify on my end, am I only allowed to perform like one action type thing per turn?
You can do movement. You can do an actual like full blown action, or you can do a bonus action. So,
Okay, wonderful. Because I was wondering if I could attempt to attack the remaining merfolk in front of me, as well as heal my new compadre who just took 6 whole damage. And since I am a person that can do heal stuffs, I'd like to get on the scary one with the face paint's good side by healing her wounds.
potentially. So go ahead and focus on the merfolk in front of you.
Immediate
Granted, if you want to make healing a priority, you can always swim away from the target that's in front of you, but they will get a free like swipe at you. So you can choose to like balance that out. Yeah.
So I think I'll go ahead and use my crossbow. I have a ranged weapon. Am I far enough away that I could fire this? And am I permitted to do such a thing underwater?
Yeah, that's fine. They are approaching closer to you, but you're still far enough away that you can actually like use it. And it's going to be a harpoon gun for this adventure.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'd like to use my harpoon gun then.
All right.
That I just happen to have attached to my belt.
Go ahead and roll it. I'm going to go ahead and say that you get advantage for this because they're still distracted by the combat that just took place, and because they were not expecting a lightning javelin to like destroy 2 other men immediately. 2 other people,
Wonderful.
rather. Sorry.
Okay, and D8 it shows for me, correct?
You're gonna roll a 1d20 and then add your actually hit, and then let me see here.
Sorry, I'm reading it as I'm looking as well. I rolled a 10.
Roll a 10. Okay, so go and roll a d20 again, and then see if
Okay.
that one's gonna be higher.
Okay. 14 for that one.
14. Okay, so you're gonna use a 14, and then it does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
And then what would that one be a die of?
Damage.
Oh, I'm sorry, damage right there. We're learning. Guide me as to how I would tell you how much damage it just took. So right there,
Okay,
that's what I just did.
And Sam, if you
And
want to
then it says
communicate through.
damage-
Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm sorry, I'm reading it through. It says 1d8 minus 1 is the damage.
Perfect. So you roll 1d8 and then just subtract 1. Actually, just roll the 1d8 because you get the +1 for being dressed up. So
Wonderful. Okay. Rolling. 3. 4 with the
no.
bonus.
3. Sorry.
3. Okay. So with a 3, he looks back just in time to see you like launch this harpoon gun straight into his chest. Granted, it like scrapes him a little bit, and he's able to like catch it, but it still scrapes against his chest as blood like spills out of it. And then there we go. As he now considers you an actual threat. Now your companions, who are also followers of All Might, who got decimated immediately, who are people of peace and plus ultra. Yeah.
People of plus ultra.
Exactly, yeah. And then after that, we're going to go to Sam. So Sam does have some audio issues, so she's going to type out what she wants to do to me, or try to like speak at her mic, and then I'll absolutely be able to relay what happens.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Well, I guess like while I have a good mic connection, I can use it. Now that I am being cradled by this bird man, I'd like to have him take me down closer to the mer people because I want to talk to them and try and advocate for peace instead of fighting.
Okay. So you turn to Sheldon and you say, lower me. Sheldon, do you comply?
I oblige,
Alright.
but I do so with just the chain that's holding us. I don't want to like get any closer to them because I'm afraid. But
Yeah.
I drop her with the chain.
Your wrist feels a little sore as you get like dropped and it's like hanging by your wrist. But you do descend into the depths and you are able to see the last remaining two merfolk, one of which is wounded and the other one is realizing he's completely outnumbered in the situation.
So then I take off my hoodie and I'm a high elf, so I'm like super fancy and shit. And I don't know if they would recognize me, and I don't know if this works with your lore, but I think it does. I'm a princess.
Totally cool.
And I'm like, hey, let's not fight and shit. Let's be friends. But like way more elegant, but I'm not elegant.
All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll a persuasion check. So 1d20 plus whatever your persuasion modifier is, and then a +1 because you dressed up and everything.
Lit. Let's see what happens. And what's my persuasion?
And it's all the dice.
19.
Okay, yeah, so that's a really strong roll. And that goes for everyone. So if you're new to Dungeons & Dragons, you don't have to abide just by my lore. If you want to try something wild and crazy, the dice ultimately will result in what happens, So in this situation, you say that it'd be like whoa, do you realize that I am royalty here? We don't have to fight about this. And with your actual speech to them, they kind of look around the situation, they kind of look back to each other, and they go like, you know what? Just because you're royalty, we don't want to start a political conflict between our two nations. So that's the reason we're going to go, and not because we're intimidated or scared or feel like we're going to get slaughtered. So you just remember that as they sort of just begin to swim away, taking the dead bodies of their companions with them, and then combat has ended and gone calm for a moment. Would anyone else like to do or say anything at this time? And Primus, you just kind of hold your axe, looking ready to strike, and then you realize that before you can do anything, combat's ended. And you're like, oh, okay. And then Miroki?
Yes, I would like to go forward to retrieve my javelin, and also to if there's any other equipment that was kind of still on the ground before they rudely attacked us. I would like to take care of picking those items up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So drifting down the water, you actually see about 3 tridents. Some of them seem very bronze and teal, like the ones the merfolk were holding. Other ones were very violets and kind of golden that the followers of All Might were actually holding, the missionaries, have you. And yeah, other than that, you do see some bronze armor that's hanging around a little bit, but you also notice some of the equipment that the followers of All Might were wearing were runic inscribed. And Lenore, you know that these people, who are also fellow landwalkers, probably can't survive in an aquatic environment for too long. But if they equip the armor that is on your dead companions' bodies, even though it might be battered and broken a little bit, it'll still allow them to move freely and breathe underwater. If you'd like to relay that information, if you don't want to, totally cool, your decision.
I'd like to. Friends of the party, I noticed that you all took a little bit of a beating here just now. Thank you very much for your help, and you have done great deeds in the name of All Might. I will say that I would be more than happy to share this armor with you. It allows you to breathe much comfortably underwater as landwalkers. All you have to do is pledge your allegiance to All Might, and I would be happy to share this armor with you. He's the ultimate god, and I would just be so happy to help out our party.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
Oh, what?
No, the only true god is Ares. Everyone knows
I'm sorry,
that.
whom?
And if by Ares...
Ares, the god of war. Have you not heard of him? Where
I haven't,
you,
honestly.
Where have you guys been? Have you been in a cave?
You're one of them, aren't you?
One of who? The great followers of Ares? Yes, I am.
More like the mentally disturbed heretic, but that's all right. That's okay.
Excuse me?
Anybody else wants some armor? I was going to offer. What was your name again? Hiroki?
It is Miroki.
Deku?
Uh,
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, Miroki. Yes, sorry. I also. Do you need a heal, my dear? You're looking like a
Better
little.
be glad that you helped us with those merfolk, or else I wouldn't go easy on you. But because of the fact that Ares told me to be merciful, I'm gonna spare you this time.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I guess I can take that for now.
To be 100% fair, we can pledge our allegiance and not mean it. We could say it to get the armor.
Did you say that privately to your party or out loud in front of me?
Primus says offhandedly.
I think we could ignore her. Did you mean to say that loud?
And then Primus, what do you have a particular god that you like follow? Because as a member of like the Beastman Empire, you get your power from Leandros. But if there's some other deity that you actually like worship, then definitely let us know. Also, there's a Minotaur who used to be your captive that is around you. If you'd like to address that elephant in the room. If not, and it's totally cool with everyone, then that's totally fine. Also, Sheldon, you're still in the water, in the air. If you want to.
Well, do we still have chains? Because I would like to remove them if I have some type of bondage whatsoever that belongs to the disgusting army that captured me.
Conveniently, on Primus's belt is actually a ring of keys that all fit the chains and bonds.
I actually would like to help everybody out because we're all in a pickle and we only have each other to get this out, or to get each other out. So I will gladly unlock all of your chains.
And on that same note, All Might is feeling merciful, and I'm sure I can convert you throughout the traversing of our journey here. So please, everyone, grab one of the bubble helmets. It will help you out, and your faces are looking a little purple from lack of oxygen, so please just grab whatever you can and throw it on, because we need to get the heck out of here.
You do start hearing the sonic sound of like ba 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 as you're like sort of drowning. Do you guys equip the aquatic armor?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Sheldon, what do you do while you're in the air?
I'm oblivious to everything, but I thought I heard someone say something about a god, and now I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, was there really a god? I mean, like, how do we know? We won't know until we're
Pull on
dead.
the chain.
Oh, that's my cue. Let's start pulling her up.
Pull her out of the water.
And I say, what they scattered away quickly. What did you tell them?
Oh, I told them my real identity and that, like, plot twist, I'm a princess. And then I was like, hey, let's not fight. And they're like, okay, cool, we're gonna yeet. And so they did. And then now there's some people fighting about gods and anime, and I don't know what they're talking about. And they want us to put on bubble helmets. Bless you.
And I drop her again.
Drop her like she's hot rocks, and then you plummet into the ground. Your wrist hurts again. Yes. So really quick, Sam.
While we do that, am I able to do a cure wounds on myself?
Yeah, absolutely. So you take the moment to recite certain words. What is your keywords that you always refer to like channel your spell powers and all that kind of stuff? Any sort of phrase?
For this, I usually, whenever I'm healing myself, I say, Ares, please show me your mercy. Heal your faithful servant.
And in a golden light, you see your wounds begin to close, or at least like heal or regenerate back to what it was prior to. You still have a slight scar on it, but nowhere near as grievous or as wounded as you were once. And
what an interesting magic trick.
Lenore comments.
It's blessings from Ares. But
Sure it is.
Do I need to roll for to see how many points I get back for my health?
Correct. Yeah, go and do so, and then in the meantime, Sheldon, would you like to descend below the water and equip the aquatic gear?
Sure. Is there any land in sight? Can my eagle eyes see anything?
No, actually, it's not, only from where you once came, which is the cliffs that are about like 150 feet high, and yeah, it's quite a journey. Granted, there is a beach like down for a few like miles that you can sort of see, but not too nothing conveniently close. Yeah.
Then I will plunge into the water.
You do so. We will say that you guys actually catch everyone like up to speed on what's going on. Do you equip the aquatic armor and bubble helmet?
Do.
Perfect. You are all good to go. And at this time, one of the last remaining members, there's 2 wounded, that blood is spilling out of them completely, and one of them is actually your guide, the Sicilian guide. I want to say, I don't think it's Sicilian, it's like Calian, the octopus sort of race, octopeeps. And he raises a hand to you and goes like, Lenore, over here quickly. And he kind of coughs up blood. And he goes, Outpost Andromeda, we have to get there. We have to report on what's going on. And then you know, Lenore, that you guys parked the wagon with seahorses like right by the side. And now that there's some dead bodies of people, there's a lot more room for passengers in it if you'd like to offer a ride to your companions. If not, you want to leave them there, that's totally cool. Whatever you want to do.
Friends, we must be parting, and thankfully I do have a small fleet of seahorses over here. They might be a little small from some of your large physiques. Some of you are a little hefty, but I think it should be fine. If you'd like to come in and join me, we really do need to go, and this is the fastest way to underwater travel in these parts, so.
Do you all agree to embark on this journey with them?
I guess I have no other option. I'm stuck with you people. So let's carry on. We need to try to get as far as we can from.
And arguably, you're the heftiest, so please do be careful on them.
Watch your tongue.
As the Minotaur is like standing right next to you, like 400 pounds and
I'm
like
just strong.
7 feet
As a
tall.
woman should be.
Okay, so you guys all pile into the actual wagon. Who's going to be actually driving the wagon? The seahorses aren't quite familiar with you guys, and there was another driver prior to this like conflict, Lenore. So if
I'm very comfortable in my training ways of the seahorse.
okay, you
Yes,
end
I
up.
am a sequestrian, for lack of a better word.
Okay, so as you guys are all piling in, do we want to say that Ari, would you like to be in the passenger seat at the very front?
I want to befriend a seahorse.
Okay. You see they're beautiful, majestic creatures. There's about 4 of them that have the reins on them and everything, and Lenore takes one of them, and she like snaps the reins as you guys begin to move forward. So there's 2 things you guys need to do. One, Lenore, go ahead and see if you have control over the seahorses by doing an animal handling check. And occupancy size, we're going to say that everyone can pile into the wagon except for Primus, who has to just hold on to like the bumper and get dragged along with it. And for animal handling, you'll do a 1d20 plus your animal handling modifier.
$21.
Yes, for me, I rolled an 18, and my animal handling is a +3 bonus.
Jesus. So
21.
in a very Snow White-like fashion, you end up just like humming or singing something, and all seahorses melt in your presence as you have full command. They would die for you and worship you. And
Here, fishies, fishies. Come here, fishies, fishies.
and then, Ari, would you like to do a roll for animal handling or persuasion? You do have some snacks in your bag that you can like give them beef jerky or something if you want to.
I already rolled. I got a 15.
Perfect. So with the 15, do you want to like pet them or say anything to them to like earn their affection?
I'm gonna like give them a little snacky out of my bag, and then let them sniff me, and then they're my new best friend.
All right, perfect. Well, it's best friends is usually something that they consent to, but we'll say that you want them to be your best friends, and they feel good about you. But no, I don't know if you guys are at best friend level yet, but it's good progress.
Working on it. We're getting there. We're getting
Exactly. So, at that point, you guys make way because of the tremendous roll. You are able to command them without any issue. No, everyone like follows your word, and you arrive at Outpost Andromeda as it's a kind of a humble but moderate size sort of garrison where there are various Violet Wardens around, and you guys haven't really quite heard of Violet Wardens except for Lenore, who works closely with them. but the Violet Wardens, from mythos and fables that you've been told, are guardians of secret knowledge that they feel that humankind or just mankind or peoplekind have not yet been able to are not ready to learn yet. So they're kind of like just like guard all of it. And they are peaceful and neutral to landwalkers, so you feel comfortable in their presence as opposed to the merfolk, who are known to be absolute sort of racist. And yeah, so you arrive at Outpost Andromeda as they open the gates for you and wave you on. It goes like, Lenore, like, what happened? There was so many more of you, and who's that like Minotaur with you? And they're just all so confused.
Oh, hello, darlings. Yes, these are my new friends. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. However, they have very big opinions on very incorrect ideals, but these are my new friends. I found them floundering as land dwellers down in the sea, so I figured I'd spare them some All Might related mercy. Who are you?
Hello there. My name is Primus Ironhide, and I am a Minotaur.
You say as you
So
like
I
wave.
can see.
And hopefully not one that serves Leandros.
As Primus's armor has like the giant Minotaur head of Leandros like on it and various pauldrons and
It's very.
I
I'm
could
not
simply just
committed
tell her no.
to anything. You know, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, like I just work here, so
It just looks cool.
perfect.
I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
So
And that one's called Hiroki or something like that, the other one.
Incorrect, frivolous one. My name is Miroki. My friends would call me Kiki. Well, if I had any friends, but
Sure.
So Miroki then.
sure. Yes, that's correct.
you take 5
We're
points.
not friends.
You take 5 points of emotional damage as it stung you in a place that you're very vulnerable in. So, for the rest of you, they kind of usher you in as the captain, who is with you, escorting you, kind of like waves you guys around, and is kind of like, we need to go and talk to the the general that's out here, like immediately. And they're like, oh shit, all right, we'll wave you guys in. Now, for the captives, you guys know that you actually have a brand mark on your skin. You could choose where you have it, but it is a very like symbolic brand that showcases that you are prisoners and belong to the Beastman Empire. And this has been happening for about 5 years now since Leandros has landed, so a lot of people everywhere sort of know what's going on and this brand and what it means. So you kind of, just keep that in mind. It's not like it's going to play into anything in the near future. Anyways, you make your way out over to the actual general's place where you find the soldiers are like ushering you guys in, providing you food and water, which are like seafood for the most part. This is where it gets weird because I actually wrote this as like a Greek adventure, and then all the food underwater is ramen and sushi and all this sort of like good stuff and everything like that. So they give you all that sort of yes, and you are hungry, super hungry right now and exhausted. And the general comes and sees you, and then goes, Lenore, it's good to see you. Oh my gosh, we were praying to our gods, Poseidon, for everything, like the one true god, Poseidon, and we were worried so much about you guys. And he goes, and the captain, who now is like bandaged and sort of like getting healed by clerics, say like, these landwalkers saved our lives. Like they went above and beyond for us. Me and Lenore would have died completely had they not shown up. And then he goes, on behalf of all of the Violet Wardens, I must thank you for your kindness. As he raises a hand to offer to shake to Miroki, Primus, and then Aerie, and then also Sheldon. Do you guys take his hand, agree?
I'm sorry. My screen shut down for
Oh,
one
you're good.
second. Can you please repeat that last part?
Yeah, the General of the Violet Wardens is thanking you for saving their lives and is offering you a warrior hand clasp as a thank you. Yeah. Do you
I
guys?
will accept that, but also please just know that Ares is actually the superior god.
We get it.
And then Aerie, do you take it as well? And same with Sheldon and Primus. Perfect.
I do.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm always down to eat.
Yeah, I just blindly like reach out my wing and I'm like gobbling fish whole.
Okay, so
Do we get to take a short rest or a rest of any kind while we're here?
Who knows? All right, so in a little bit, so he then like shakes your hands, and then he notices that you guys have brand marks on your body, and he goes, "I'm afraid this is a problem. Even though you've shown us immense kindness, this situation is already politically tense enough between our nation and the Beastman Empire, who have been knocking on our doors, wanting us to join their actual cause for peace, as far as the sea-land relation goes. So we can't do anything to offend them right now with the Hammer of Cyprus, which were the merfolk who actually assaulted you guys at our doorstep. So we are going to need to let you stay here for a night, and then we're going to unfortunately have to take you all back to the surface, back to Leandros' army to carry out your trial, because we just absolutely cannot get involved with... if anyone finds out, and there's already a member of Leandros' army here present witnessing everything, we can't possibly harm you guys after... Especially since Primus did so much in saving your guys' lives, we can't insult him by doing anything like weird like this. So he goes, you can stay here for the night at the inn, and rest up, and we'll give you all the food and drink you can handle, and then after that, you guys are going to be shipped out. Do you guys have any questions about anything at all?
The only thing I will say to him is, one thing you must always remember. As Ares says, you must never give a damn about what people think of you or your reputation. All that matters is that you know he's looking from above.
Wasn't that another god that said, I don't give a damn about my reputation?
No, it was Ares, of course.
It was only Ares.
I must have misread.
I have it here in this book. I know what the priest told me.
So, Ari actually says, because her mic's like slightly not working, but she kind of says, you know, can you guys like take me home since I'm like a princess? And if I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, Sam, definitely let me know. But yeah, so they go like, can you guys take me home? And they go like, absolutely not. You guys got caught for whatever reason, and they deemed it necessary to like transport you guys. And Sam, you can always we can always say that the lore is that you were one of the nations that fell to the Empire, and you either fought back against them or whatever way, but you guys got caught for some reason. And yeah, so they say no, unfortunately. And then after that, they escort you out of the building, and you're in the town square as night question. Shared lodgings. There we go. As you walk away, you find yourself in the middle of the town square, filled with merfolk and Sicilians, or Sicilian, I can't remember how to pronounce them, who gawk in awe at how different you all are with your non-fins, and like some have pale skins or different just color skin tones and all that sort of stuff of landwalkers that they're not used to seeing it. But out of everyone, the ones who shine the most are two bullywugs. And if you don't know what a bullywug is, it's a giant like frog creature that have big bellies and big, you know, forms and all that kind of stuff. They're about like 6 to 7 feet tall. And there's two of them that appear in front of you. One of which has a pompadour and like sunglasses underwater and a giant katana on his back and is finely dressed. And the other one is bald, has a giant mace on his back, and has various scars and everything, and has tons of tattoos on them. And they
my goodness, they're beautiful.
Lenore says as they kind of like approach, and one of them says like, "Your presence is required. Please follow." As they kind of like turn around and then just begin to walk without your acknowledgement. Now they one of them actually waits to see if you follow, to make sure that you guys are actually doing so, and they look pretty physically intimidating and all that sort of stuff. Would you like to comply, or would you like to ask any questions or do anything?
I would like to ask them where are you exactly taking us?
And
I don't trust people that easily. I need to know where you're leading us.
yeah, so one of them goes, "There's food, there is drink, there is song, and good company. I urge you, it's in your best interest to follow us." And kind of like gestures a little bit.
I push everybody aside to be the first person.
Let's go, we're going.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure we should just trust them? So that we don't know anything about. I mean, I don't know anything about you guys either.
If you,
but especially these.
If you want to, any of you can roll a history check to see if you like know anything about them. Lenore would get a advantage on this because she actually spends time down here and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let me actually keep Discord.
Wonderful.
Am I able to? So we're all rolling, correct?
Only if you want to like try to remember like do I know these people? Who are they? If you don't want to, then no worries at all. 23.
I an 11.
11. Okay, so Ari.
I got 8.
8. Okay.
And then, yeah.
18.
Mine was only a 3, so I know nothing.
Okay.
Mine was a 5, so I too know nothing.
Okay, so for Ari and Sheldon, they immediately appear as you've seen pictures of them, wanted posters, all sort of stuff. They are called the Terror Tongues, and a group of bullywugs who, from smaller tribes, have all banded together to form a sort of a gang of sorts who deal in narcotics and also arms dealing and all these sort of weird stuff in the underwater world that is a little bit shady. And you've only heard about them and their ruthlessness, but you've never actually seen them in the presence. But now that you're in their presence, you can definitely tell that the fables must be true. And it's very interesting as to why they want you guys in particular, because you guys are from the land and had no intentions of being here at all. So, does anyone dispute following them, or do you guys all reluctantly go along?
I am going to dispute following them. They still seem suspicious to me, and I might use a little intimidation to try to get the truth out of them.
Okay.
Should I roll?
Yes. So roll 1d20 plus your intimidation.
Okay, so that is a 10.
A 10? Okay. And what do you do in particular to intimidate them? Do you say anything or like do anything to showcase that you are refusing?
I'm gonna need you guys to tell me the truth. I know that you're leading us to our doom, or to some suspicious place I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
I suggest you tell me before I have to beat it out of you.
And then with that, let me see here. Yeah, that works. 18 plus 5. All right. So with that, the one that's bald and has a bunch of stuff looks over to the one with the pompadour, and the one with the pompadour gives a snap of his fingers, and the bald one just like grabs you by your like arms and just presses against and just picks you up and then walks with you in hand. And the strength is immense to the point where you can't really like break out of it. And you all walk together, even though you're like kicking and screaming and like all that kind of stuff. And the guards here look the other way completely as they're like, oh, I didn't see that, and they just kind of, because they're intimidated, it seems like, of the Terror Tongues here. And after that, they answer no questions that are asked. There is no hesitation as they simply turn and walk away. Following them, it leads you to a local tavern called the Drunken Eel. Perfect. It's aquatic themed. So there's a shady part of town. Now, where you guys were in was like a good part of town. It's got like nice, pristine, sort of cobblestone areas and all that sort of stuff. But then they just take a turn and lead you down some back alleyways to this. Like everything's falling apart. There's a lot of like terror tongues around, all sorts of weird, shady deals going on, and everyone looks at you guys, and it leads you to.
And I'm screaming, I'm like, what did I tell you guys? I told you these guys are not to be trusted.
Exactly, and you guys are all getting a little bit intimidated. Maybe it's up to you. And they take you to the Drunken Eel, where the mood is rowdy as people, soldiers and other terror tongues and all that kind of stuff are celebrating and drinking. And despite the crowd, it parts immediately. The bullywugs like move forward, and no one dares hinder you guys or gets in your way. Even if they're drunk, they still have the consciousness to be like, nope, just gonna press myself against the wall and let you guys pass. And what happens is you descended down a staircase where there are various other terror tongues as they're all listening to music of beatboxing, and they have katanas and tattoos and pompadours as they're combing them, and each of them gives you a nod as they allow you passage to the back room where the largest Cecilian I gotta remember how to pronounce that word. Cecilian resides. She is like pretty heavy set but also physically large. She's about like 14 feet tall with giant tentacles that go all around and everything. And because I love Ursula so much, I'm just gonna call her Ursula. So as she has a giant plate of food, of sushi and noodles and ramen and everything else in the world, as she's just consuming it left, right, and center. And one of the terror tongues with the pompadour goes like, they were exactly where you envisioned them, Ursula. And then they kind of bow and then let you guys free. And then she goes, sit, darling, sit, please, as the tentacles all reach out and then like move some like pillows, as it's like, I forgot what they're called, but you know, like the short Japanese tables with the cloth over it that like has a heating lamp underneath it and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's what the situation is, and she kind of like offers you guys to come and sit down with you guys. Would you like to join in or say anything?
I still don't I do not trust this person who's trying to seem friendly, because the fact that they removed us and brought us to this shady part of town. I want to do a zone of truth. I want to do a spell
Okay.
to try to get the truth out of this woman, this creature.
That works. So you do your Naruto hand signals, and then poof, there is the zone of truth that illuminates. Can you read what it does?
Yes, it says you create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn, must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the creature can't speak a deliberate lie within the radius, and you know whether or not they save or they fail. And they have to they basically can be evasive in their answers, but you know, that's only if they roll.
No worries.
If they're telling a lie.
Yeah, if they tell an outright lie, that's when it happens.
Yes.
All right. So, what happens is she smiles wide and she kind of giggles as she goes, "Let me see. My name is Ursula, and I am a sea witch, an oracle, if you may have it. I've been blessed with clairvoyance my entire life." And you guys are one of the first visions that I've ever had, and I've waited my entire life for you guys to come. And let me see, you must be Miroki, and you are Mr. Cooper, and you are Lenore, and you are Aerie, and you are Primus. And then she kind of like gives a bow, and it showcases that oh god. And it showcases that she tells no lies in this, as she offers no resistance or doesn't see any sort of struggling. And she offers you plates and starts to fill them with food in front of you. Would anyone like to sit down or anything like that at all? Or you guys kind of like hesitate? Okay, so Lenore?
I sit down happily because I've heard nothing but wonderful things about Ursula from the community, so.
Okay, so you do so. And then would anyone else like to sit down?
I'll sit
I
down.
would reluctantly sit down now that with my zone of truth, it seems like she may not be lying about
Aerie sits down. Perfect. And then Primus?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Primus I would like to sit down with some skepticism.
Okay. With a furrowed brow of confusion, you kind of look and sit down. And then you take up a majority of the room next to Ursula, and you see the food looks amazing, because a lot of you guys are famished because you haven't been able to eat in a while, although you had like a little snack, a little appetizer at the general's place. And
I do ask because it's still happening. The zone of truth is still taking place.
Yes.
This isn't poison. This isn't poisoned, right?
And she kind of like nods a little bit to be like, well, the cherry wine is, I guess, technically like a slight poison because it has some alcohol contents in it. But other than that, no, it's all completely fine. As she herself shovels food into her mouth, and there's plenty more. Have you ever seen Spirited Away? That giant thing of food is exactly what isn't sort of.
That's what I was visualizing. I'm like, this is No Face's Feast right now.
Exactly, yeah. And then she goes, "You have no idea how much joy it brings me that you are walking in the same footsteps of my vision, for I have seen what your future could bring. You," and she points to only Aerie, Miroki, and Sheldon, and it goes, "You will slay Leandros, king of Minotaurs, in 2 days," as she raises a hand, and it illuminates a violet light onto the walls that have shadows that kind of like represent you guys that are dancing in chibi form. And it goes, "I am to lead you to a ruins to the west of here where there is a temple, untouched by mortal hands for centuries. And what resides there is the eye of Diomedis. an artifact placed there by the gods were to be used by mortals when the need arises. And I feel like the Beastman situation is a need that would call for this. And the animation on the wall showcases what you guys do as you go to the temple and everything like that. And she goes, "But be warned, because there is a guardian there to thwart the unworthy. It shall demand everything you have in order to best them." And then she stops to consume a little bit of ramen, slurping as she holds for questions.
How is it that you knew about us? And the fact that I mean, I know I'm out to try to destroy Leandros, but I don't know what their purpose is. But how did you know about this?
And then she tells you every other female in our generation has the gift of clairvoyance, but I seem to have it tenfold, as I am blessed by the gods with future vision. And although I get these visions every so often, I can't quite tell when they're going to come into play. But you guys, I knew that you would come later on in my life, and I have seen it, time and time again, the same visions, and I prepared for this moment, gathering allies, as she motions to the Terror Tongues, to assist you in this. And she goes, "I have also seen that the ruins are currently occupied by the Hammer of Cyprus, those pesky merfolk who tried to assault you guys when you arrived. They currently hold a ground and a foothold at the actual temples, but tonight they are in a sort of transition as they're putting all of their forces towards their main stronghold. So it will be the weakest that has ever been, and that's when I believe we should strike. Granted, it's going to be in 6 hours, so you can absolutely rest and take your time to drink and eat and all that kind of stuff. But if you're ready to meet your destiny, let me know." And she waits for any additional questions.
What is this eye of Dionysus? Demonitis? What was it?
Diomedus, and the Eye of Diomedus was an eye of a god of light in this area. Unfortunately, he has died and passed away, but before he did so, he cast out his eye and threw it to the mortal plane, and to be used by mortals. It's said that when a mortal touches it and then activates it, when the eyelids split open, anything that's in his vision that is organic will completely just melt away and die. And then it will close, and then it has devastating power. And apparently it affects gods and other such things. And this will be what you use to slay Leandros. At least that's what has to do with my vision. Time and fate can change if you choose to fight against it, but that is at least what I see your current destiny and future are. And she kind of leans over to Lenore and Primus, who are "Unfortunately, little ones, I don't see you in this vision, but I do see you help them in this assault. Whatever that might mean." And then she kind of tells you guys. And yeah.
Well, anything to get rid of any of the false gods I'm in. So that sounds like a piece of hardware that you're definitely going to need on your further adventures. How much sunlight do we have left in this day?
I'm gonna say it's probably around it's about 6 p.m. currently.
So 6 more hours, you said.
Until midnight.
Until midnight hits. So it sounds like we can't really do much without any daylight left. We might as well rest, recuperate, eat, sleep, drink, and be merry, since there's all this wonderful feast in front of us, and then rendezvous out in the morning to the ruins. How do you all feel about that? What about you, Bird Boy?
I'm not. I'm stuffing my face with food.
You look as you see Sheldon with immense anxiety and wide-eyed as he's just trying to drink as much and eat as much to not talk and everything like that. And
Princess over there, I know that you're vegan, but is the options available here something you'll be able to stomach?
Y'all got seaweed, right?
She goes, "Absolutely, the finest," as she has a Terror Tongue come out with it, and then hands it to you. Yeah.
Moroki, what say you?
Aries is one that says that you should enjoy the pleasures of life. That includes drinking and consuming delicious food. And I guess since it's not poison, then and the ale is quite good. We'll I'll partake, and then we can rest and carry on, because we need to defeat Leandros at any cost. So I'm on board with that mission.
Okay. So, at this time, you guys drink and you eat your fill. Some of you who feel comfortable with it, no worries if you just want to go straight to your room and go to bed. In this one, you get the suite, the penthouse sort of this tavern, the Drunken Eel, and then some of you stay up with the Terror Tongues, drinking and eating, getting a new tattoo if you'd like to join their sort of gang, honorary, and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, after a few hours,
A long rest? A long rest or short rest?
short rest, 6 hours.
Short rest.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you can still use your hit dice, or actually, I think you healed for majority of them, I think. But if anyone has any spells that can recuperate, then keep that in mind. After a few hours, you awaken to a solid knock on your door, where the Terror Tongues stand outside your room, and they escort you to the entrance, where a fleet of seahorse-drawn carriages reside. The largest and most well-protected is waiting for you. As you hop in, and in the back, there's a little seat for Primus that they made really quickly and everything like that. And you just kind of write it. And you guys end up getting inside where there's katanas, harpoon guns, and various other things for resupply as one of the bullywugs begins beatboxing, and they all nod their heads in unison as the carriages take off into the night. And while you guys are in the actual, I was gonna say sky, but you're underwater. But just traveling through the actual water, you find that sure enough, there is a garrison that's right outside these sort of mining area of ruins. But it seems very low key, not really well fortified. As you see one figure end up seeing you guys and run immediately, and then begin to sound the alarms for the bells, being they're incoming quickly. And then the fleet ends up breaking off to end up going and addressing them, while you guys end up going straight, beelining it for the mine entrance. At this time, you see that there's certain turrets or cannons that are on the actual garrison begin to illuminate in purple energy and to take aim at you. So who's going to be actually driving the carriage, would you say?
Me.
All right, Lenore? Okay. So go to roll an animal handling check. And then...
Okay. And that's a 20 plus whatever the animal is, right?
Correct. Yeah, 1d20 plus whatever the animal handling is.
All right. Oh, boy. It would be a total of 4.
4? Okay. So with a 4, you're shaken by what's going on. You're like, holy shit. Maybe it's because you're not a morning person, or maybe it's because, this whole situation's going on, but something about you...
I stayed up late with one of those frogmen last night.
Exactly, yeah. Preaching the good word of All Might, of course. And then...
Absolutely.
And then, so you're shaken completely, and you're not doing a very good job at navigating the actual waters to do this, as the cannons begin to fire off in your direction and all the other directions of the fleets, but 2 of the cannons in particular are aiming towards you guys. And you all hold on and brace for impact, as one of them seems... Oh, let's see here. So that's a 9, which is 11, so that doesn't quite hit, but explodes next to you. And the other one is going to be a 14, so go ahead and check your AC and see if 14 versus AC... Actually, we'll do 14 versus Dexterity. So check your Dexterity and see if a 14... Oh, no, sorry. How this is going to work is you're going to roll a 1d20 and then get your saving throw modifier for Dexterity, and then see if that is... Sorry, I got mixed up for a little bit.
Okay. You were referring to me, right?
All of you guys, yeah. So it's going to be...
All of us, okay.
Yeah. 1d20 and then plus your Dexterity saving throw. And it should be in the upper left-hand corner of your character sheet.
22.
Jesus. All right, you're good. 18.
21 for me.
21, and then...
Oh, 23, actually.
Muroki?
That was a 7.
A 7? Oh, shit. Okay. All right. So you're going to take 6 damage as one of the cannons explode right next to the actual wagon that rattles all of you guys, but most of you are able to hang on. Actually, Primus, what was yours?
3.
Oh, okay. You were the 3. All right. Actually, no, sorry. You take 6 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So both of you guys rattle as you didn't quite get a firm enough grip as your head maybe bounces off the wagon wall or something like that. And then, sure enough, you end up making your way actually into the mine cavern. There's not enough space for the actual wagon, so you will have to disembark. And you see a watery tunnel moving before you that twists and turns and ends up going into different directions. Do you choose to move forward, or would like to do anything else at this time?
I'm going to go ahead and cure my wounds from that horrible accident that just happened and hit me. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay. There is blood coming from your like head wound, and then you end up using cure wounds for a moment. Um, Primus, if you'd like to, you could also like heal and use lay on hands if you want to. It's completely up to you. Now, lay on hands, I believe you have a pool of like 25 for you, so you can apply however many you want to. And that'll be in features and traits on your character sheet.
Features and traits.
And then
Lay on hands.
yeah, there should be a pool of 25 that you can apply
Yes.
however many towards you. Perfect.
Okay, do you want to do that?
Sure.
All right. And you heal for as many as you'd like to. For Miroki, how much did you heal for?
That was an 8.
8? Okay. So, at this time, when you breach the actual... okay, sorry. So you arrive at the mouth of the ruins, where you see the area is kept together with scaffolding and wood and stone pillars, wood and stone like pillars. Traversing through the tunnel comes with no resistance until you finally arrive to a pool of like crimson liquid, along with severed body parts that are strewn about. The armor resembles heavily of the Hammer of Cyprus, those merfolk that assaulted you in the beginning of your adventure, and you see light shining from the surface of the water. Would you like to breach the actual surface?
How far are the merfolk from where we are?
They're like right in front of you. So it's about like we'll say 15 feet is the pool or mist of like crimson liquid, and like hands and legs and various body parts that are just like all strewn about. It looks extremely fresh, as there's no sort of sign of decomposition or anything. So whatever happened just killed them.
Can I perceive if I can gather anything else from the surroundings?
Yeah, so I'll say that these people looked like they were some pretty legit soldiers. Some of them looked like just miners, where they didn't have much armor or weapons at all, but some of them looked very like heavy set with gear and weapons, and it seemed like whatever they encountered did not help at all in the situation. You also see broken pieces of like stone that looks like statues and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And when you're ready to proceed, breach the surface of the water. Perfect. So, when you breach, you find a pristine temple where braziers are illuminated. Actually, let me check my stuff just in case. I only have 18. Okay. So, when you breach the surface of the water, you get all the icky, gooey, like crimson liquid on you and everything like that. And you see a pristine temple where braziers are illuminated. There's about 6, like 3 on each side, and a 60 by 100-foot area forged from bronze and stone. And at the far back wall, you see a shrine where statues like the pantheon of gods reside, each with eyes that seem to follow you with a piercing gaze filled of judgment. Then you see, and there is also, however, All Might is not present in this pantheon.
But Ares is, I'm sure.
Ares is present, yes. All Might is like a newer god, we'll say. And then you see a bronze object, the size of it about like an orange, and laying eyes upon it causes you to yearn for it in some unnatural way. So much so that you hardly recognize the like 24 or so other statues that are spread around the room, each with poses of horror and fear. This ground floor is well lit with polished stone, and yet the ceiling is so far high above that it doesn't illuminate anything of the ceiling. And if you'd like to, you can get out of the water and then go onto the polished stone to try to retrieve the item, whatever you would like to do in this situation.
I'm longing for this object, but something in me tells me that something's awry, something's amiss. I want to try to do primeval awareness, so I can. It's basically me expending one of my spell slots in order to try to see if there's any type of elementals, fae, fiends, undead, aberrations, dragons, anything that is potentially a threat in the area.
Okay.
So I want to try to do that before we head forward.
So you look all around you. Also, we're at like $941, so that's like super awesome. And also, Amber and Alyssa just dropped off the call, probably for internet issues. So when they were joined, like they'll be able to, like, everything will be fixed. So just bear with it for a little bit. It's probably like Cox related issues and all that good stuff. And yeah. So for the moment, we're gonna go ahead and do what you ask. So you do like look around with your primeval awareness, and you end up finding that there is something like dripping from the ceiling onto the ground that seems to be of like a crimson sort of liquid, but it's very faint, very slight, and no one else has actually noticed it in the actual like room at all.
Is there any way for me to investigate the liquid that's dripping if it dripped down onto one of us?
None of you. It's like in the center of the room. It like dripped down from, and so if you'd like to, you can move forward and actually try to interact with it at all or anything. But what we'll do right now is, while we're in this situation, we'll go ahead and break for like 10 minutes, just to allow for Amber and Alyssa to have a little bit of time to like fix their internet and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll like come back with it. So we'll like meet back up at like 10:47, and yeah. And then let me go ahead and do BFD.
So don't say anything rude about
I-
fantasy being Joe or something like that. I'm gonna use a bio.
Two pets on my desk, and no one can see them, and I'm so disappointed.
What happened?
Hams.
I have my dog and my cat sitting literally on my desk, and no one can see them where my mic and my like camera is.
Oh no.
Great.
Yes.
Adjust your audio throughout. Right.
Yeah. It's 10 minutes. I'm gonna use the bathroom while you guys do that.
Hey guys.
This is super.
Hi guys. Are we on a break right now? Yeah. Hey. So what we're getting from the other end is that would drop their volume up or turn their volume up on hers, and we drop the volume down on ours. That way they're not maxed out. That way neither one's going at 100%. That way
Hello?
that's not blown out.
Hi. Oh my god. So this is like yeah, the internet just took a major dump. So
And then, okay, so we will have to fix that really quick. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So we're coming back really quick. I just got to do something really fast. Amber and Alyssa have joined us again, but things are a little wonky. So we're just going to fix that really quick. Let me see.
The gods of the internet are not
Oh,
smiling
God.
on my household.
It's okay. Everything
We still
is
love you.
everything is still going well. Let me try to get this really quick. Oops, that's alt. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
This is why we do an audio podcast.
I know the visuals is so like. Oh my god. Just bear with me really quick. Everything's going so slow right now. Try to.
I'm gonna go
Thank
beakless.
you everyone for your patience.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. All right.
I'm going beakless for a little bit, but I have my glasses, so that's still part of my character. So
And let me. All right. There we go. Now we're.
It's so you could partake of the ale, right?
yeah.
D'Angelo learns how to stream on stream.
I know. Oh my god. This is like, ah! I'm just so appreciative of like all the viewers and everything like that for taking the time to be with us through all our technical difficulties, because it's definitely stressful to be like, oh god, please still love us. And
Sam, what are you snacking on now? Is it popcorn?
Huh?
Is it pop? What are you eating now? Popcorn?
Yeah. It's not loud, is it?
No, I have that same bowl. I think
It's
Matt
not
also
that
has that exact same bowl.
Me having popcorn isn't like a super loud, obnoxious chewing, right?
no, it's fine.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. Because if it was like, Sam, we can hear you chewing, then I would
Right
be
when I
like,
was okay, there we go.
I will stop.
We can do this. I'm gonna spend like 2 more minutes on this, and then we're just gonna keep going.
Actually, I might popcorn.
There we go. And almost. Come on. Perfect. So the internet at Amber and Alyssa's house like pooped on them, so they are currently. Oh, but this one. This up. Let me see. So here we go. Rob is probably freaking out right now, being like, "Oh God!" All right.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
No, it's all good. All right.
Sorry that we're not classy right now.
Go, psh, you're always classy. You're always a blessing.
Something like that.
Does that do anything? Somebody suggested
Yeah.
turning your phone sideways.
Yeah, that works. Perfect. So that,
If that kicks in.
yeah, so that looks great. All right. And did someone leave the call? Oh yeah. Okay. So almost. I just gotta get one more thing set up. I'm so sorry, everyone. All right. And
Whoever's on IT is incredible. I see you like rearranging the layout as it's going, and you're a boss.
that's me.
Yeah, you're a boss. Well done.
Killing it. Killing it.
Thanks to Rob's teachings. All right, there we go. All right, that's fine. Now we gotta get. Which I might just have you guys. Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and do this really quick.
Jasper, you're so gross. Eat your popcorn.
All right. There's Sam and Dustin. We'll just have it like that for a little bit, just so that we can get this move forward. All right. So we're all gonna come back to the story. What just happened to you guys is that your heads breach the water. You see in this like, oh, let me turn off the audio too. For the music, there we go. So your heads breach the water, and there's like crimson liquid that's all around you. You're pretty sure it's blood, and body parts are all strewn about. You see pristine, like polished stone around, and there's pantheon of the gods that are also around. And at the very back wall, there's this orange-sized brown, bronze object that is shiny and yearns to you unnaturally to like focus on it and like obtain it in some manner. And what happens is that do you want me to do it while you go back to gaming? No, I think we should be okay. Probably we'll just get through this. Okay, so
Probably.
so you guys all look around, but you can't quite see anything other than 24 statues that are just all posed in horrific like ways, as they're just like leaning back, their eyes are shut, or anything sort of weird stuff. Or I guess eyes open in this case. And in the middle of the room, Miroki ended up looking like hard as she saw crimson liquid dropping from the ground or from the ceiling down to the ground, but she's unable to see where it's actually coming from.
Can I sense any creatures that are obviously unnatural, fiends, celestials?
Yes,
Aberration.
you absolutely do, and it's focused on the ceiling. Like something is up there, waiting for you guys, but it's not yet hostile or not yet. It seems to just be watching, but you can start hearing it breathe as if you really strain your listening, and everything. Everyone else.
I would like to try to attempt to talk to it.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I could potentially be speaking to I don't know if it's a monstrosity or not, but I'm gonna try to speak to it. So I'm gonna use monstrosity to try to say, is there anything with us here in this room?
Okay, so you call out and then go ahead and let me know what your score is.
That is a 4.
A 4? Okay. So you call out with a shaky voice as you're terrified of the situation. You now know something is here with you, but you're unsure of what actually it is. And you just call out like, is something here with us? Like, what is it? And then all of you just kind of like look around as you hear the crackling of the braziers like just go out, and you're pretty certain that orange-sized object that's bronze on a pedestal in the back of the room is your goal. And at this time, you also notice... All right, so we're going to start with Primus. Go ahead and pick a number 1 through 5.
3.
3. You find a rod that is called the Tentacle Rod. So it's a rod filled with tentacles, and while using it, you can actually like force 3 tentacles out, and it actually can strike. There's no notifications. Oh, we can't see the notifications anywhere. No! All right. Yeah, so you do find like a tentacle rod. If you wanted to, you can actually go ahead and equip it on your D&D Beyond character sheet by like going to inventory and then checking it out and everything if you wanted to. If not, you can always go to D&D Beyond and then type in tentacle rod, and then it should show you the stats for everything. And then Dustin, go ahead and pick a number 1 through 4.
2.
You find the Oath Bow, and it's called the Oath Bow. Go ahead and like add it to your inventory or just look it up, and then it should tell you everything about it. And these are because of the donations that you guys have done. I haven't been able to like stop and then keep track of it because you guys are supposed to have the opportunity to help or hurt the party. So we're just going to assume you want to help them in this situation. So for Sam, you pick 1 through 3.
2.
2. You get the Ring of Animal Influence.
Fuck yeah.
Whoa, dude, I got a mythic.
And then Utahime, go ahead and do, or Miroki, go ahead and pick 1 or 2.
Let's go with 1.
You get the Potion of Growth. So you can, again, look that up in D&D Beyond. It should be able to tell you everything. And then Amber, you find a staff of swarming insects that are just all crazy and wild. So, at this time, you guys all come out of the actual water and grab these items and like try to investigate further. As you hear the sound of laughing like echo throughout this hall, and it goes, some more unworthy travelers have wandered into my nest, as a being drops from the ceiling, and it lands, and you see that it just crashes a bunch of statues that are around, and it raises to like a pretty high, like about 12 feet tall, and it seems to be have a serpentine sort of body, and it has a head that is of the head and like sort of upper torso of what appears to be a beautiful humanoid, but the hair is all sorts of wild, crazy sort of snakes. And some of you may know this creature, others of you like you've never seen it in your life or anything like that. But it kind of looks to you and says, "You seek what so many others have sought as well and failed, and but let us see if you're able to actually obtain it this time." And then she kind of like bares her fangs and then motions you to try to strike her. And go ahead and do anything or roll initiative. Yeah.
Don't talk about my ring of animal handling. Is she an animal?
I mean, yeah, but she's not. She has a higher intelligence, so the ring of influence wouldn't quite affect her to how it would like a normal horse or sheep or anything like that.
What language does she speak?
Common and a bunch of others that you can absolutely hear. Okay, so Rookie, and then Harry, Sheldon, Primus, and then Lenore, and then. All right, so
I got 12. Can you see what I got?
nah, so 12, and then Ari, you got 14. Is that right?
Yep.
And then Maroki,
That is 17.
17. All right, and then Primus,
15.
15, and then Lenore,
3.
3. Okay, and then. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and force Primus to go first because you have not gone and done combat at all yet. So we're gonna start off with you, and then it's gonna go to Muroki. So, what would you like to do, Primus? As this giant beast appears in front of you, absolutely like doesn't look natural at all. Its mere gaze is powerful.
How close is it?
I would say it's about like maybe 30 feet away from you. At least portions of its body are, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and I have 2 attacks per action. So for my first attack, I would like to use my lance. I whip out my lance, which is my melee weapon, and yeah.
That works. Okay.
Do I do anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll a 1d20, and then you're gonna add your hit slash, the +1.
Okay, so I rolled a 20.
Jesus, like a natural 20?
Yeah, not
that's
20.
a 20.
Nice job. So you automatically hit. So you see this, and you're like, I can dig it, and you're like super down and all about it as you just immediately rush forward with your lance and just charge into the fray. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and roll your damage dice, but you're going to roll double it. So, yeah. So
Okay.
So if it says like, was it 1d8 or something like that?
It's 1d12 plus 7, so
1d12 plus 7. Yeah. So it's gonna be 2d12.
okay.
Jesus, 2d12. Oh my god.
So 12
Combined.
I got an 8 and a 4.
And did you already add your bonus and everything?
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh shoot, no I didn't.
This is where the math comes in.
Yeah.
So we said 12.
The true enemy of Dungeons and Dragons, math.
Let's see, yeah, 12 plus 7.
All right, so 12 plus
Okay,
7,
19.
19.
Yes.
So with a 19, while all of you are kind of trying to assess the situation and are taking in the sight of this legendary creature, you watch your companion Primus just immediately bolt forward, like horns at the ready and lance at their side, and just pile into this actual creature. And the creature ends up, let me see here, actually, yep, so you absolutely hit, and then you do 19 damage, so it's going to be 16. You absolutely did not expect that to happen with you guys, as this Minotaur just stabs this lance into its side, and blood begins to spray out of it as she screams at the top of her lungs. And Primus, so go ahead and go again, since you have 2 attacks per action.
Yes, you get to do
Oh,
more.
yeah, okay. So 12.
12?
Plus 8, 20.
Jeez, I was like, oh, 12 doesn't hit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, plus 8. Like, oh, okay. So,
Yeah, sorry, 12 plus 8.
Primus is a strong boy.
Yeah, you absolutely hit. So go ahead. Hey, we hit 1,000. Yeah, perfect.
Woo! Did we really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Holy
That's
hell.
awesome.
That's
Holy
amazing.
charity, Batman.
Right?
Thank you, everybody.
There we go. Perfect. Finally. Okay, everyone looks good. All right. So, so you did 20. So yeah, go to roll your damage dice. So 1d12 plus whatever.
Just one, right?
Correct. Yeah.
17.
So with the 17, oh, that's your damage. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Go Primus, go.
Yep, so you stab into it, and then you just take out your lance, and then you stab again, as like making that wound grow bigger. And like a Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino film, it just sprays everywhere. As all of you, your armor used to be like teal and violet and all that kind of stuff, and now it's just like crimson red. And after that, it's going to be Miroki, as she's now looking like pretty wounded, and like she was so confident going into this, as her glittering scales seemed to be like untouched and unbattered, and now they're just like has a giant gaping hole into her side.
I would like to use Hunter's Sense. I want to know. I want to know if she's resistant to anything, any vulnerabilities, ways that I can inflict, can inflict more damage on her.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Before I attack.
So, as you assess the situation, I'll give you the lowdown. So it looks like she is proficient in like deception, insight, perception, stealth. She can see in the dark, and she speaks common. But other than that, it doesn't quite look like she's weak to any thing. However, the thought appears in your mind that maybe if she looks at a particular like reflective surface, an ability that she has may be reflected back at her. But that's the major of the knowledge that you like know, and then I'll let you attack. So whatever you wanted to also do, yeah.
Now, how far ahead of me is she? Is it 15 feet? 30?
Yeah, we'll say she's about 35 feet. Yeah, at least a portion of her body is. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to dash forward in order to take out my greatsword.
Okay.
To try to attack.
Yeah, you do so. You have greatsword out, and you're rushing towards her. We're gonna say that you get a flanking bonus because you and Primus are both like bashing on her. So go ahead and roll, 2d20 and choose the highest of the result.
Nat 20.
Jesus. All right. Well, okay. The gods bless you guys. So, all right. So go ahead and roll your damage dice, but roll them twice. So whatever it is, like 1d8 or 1d6, and then just roll 2d6 or 2d8 or whatever.
So that is 12 for damage.
Did you already add your
That's
book?
2d6. Oh, actually 13 for that.
All right. So
I forgot to add the 1.
perfect. So 13. There we go. Oh, perfect. And then
I see her in her weakened state, and I want to take advantage of it. So I go forward
okay.
and with great strength.
Okay, with your like second attack. Okay. So go ahead and roll. Same thing. 1d20 this time. Oh, actually, sorry. 2d20 since you're still flanking. Yeah.
So that was a 19.
Yeah, you absolutely hit.
And that is a 17.
All right, we'll take the 19. You absolutely hit. So go ahead and go to damage.
Oh, that was a 17 for damage.
Oh, 17 for damage. Okay, okay. Let's see here. Oof. All right. So after that, it's gonna actually go to. So that was Primus. It's gonna go to Airy. You were sitting there watching this giant, huge. Oh, Aries AFK. So we're gonna.
No,
Oh, you're good. You're good. Okay. All right. So, Airy, you're watching the scene unfold as this giant, like snake-like woman is just like sprawled out all over this temple floor and is getting like just beat by Primus and Moroki, who are just showing their ferocity in combat. And then, what would you like to do?
Is there any way to try and get everybody to stop fighting?
You can do a persuasion check, but it seems like with your general knowledge, this creature does not look intent on diplomacy at all. It looks mostly hostile. But natural 20s do magical things, so if you want to try it, then that's totally cool.
I think I'm looking for my spells. Spells. I think I'd like to actually use, where is it? Entangle on this creature.
Okay. And is Entangle something she has to roll against, or is do you roll against her?
No, Entangle just like does it. I'm pretty sure it lasts for up to a minute, and it makes vines come out of the ground in a 20-foot square radius.
Okay. And then Burke, so go to read the description really quick. That way I can see if she has to, if when she starts her turn, if she takes anything or anything like that.
Oh, I think that she has to succeed on a strength saving throw. A strength saving throw, or she's restrained.
Okay. Well, she got a natural 1, so she definitely fails. As vines erupt from the temple ground, and then, or I guess maybe they would descend from the ceiling and then go and grapple her as she's just tangled by all this. And then after that, it's gonna go to Sheldon.
Hello. Geez, I don't know, guys. I mean, should we attack this thing or should we not attack this thing? I don't know. I'm gonna try to throw a firebolt at her.
Okay. So you hold out your finger and you, or I guess you do your Naruto hand symbol, and then you point, and then go ahead and roll.
Do I have to roll? I have to roll the hit first. What button do I press for that one? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. So you're gonna look at the ability, and you're gonna go to hit/DC, and then you're gonna click it, and it should do the math for you and everything.
Yep, that's the one I should first.
And then add the +1 for your bonus. Yeah.
12. 13.
13. With you get a flanking bonus just because everyone's like beating the shit out of her. So go and roll a d20 again. Oh, it's 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Bless you. So with the 12, you try to shoot, but you realize that your two major anxieties are here in front of you, a woman and also snakes. So it just caused you an immense amount of fear, and you just... and then you end up shooting the firebolt, it just flies out and hits the ceiling, or the temple wall. And then it's going to go to Lenore.
Alright. Sorry, darlings. Forget that. I'm gonna roll with a regular dice because technology and everything about it hates me today. So here we go. Die. I said it wrong. It's a die. It's a single die. 18.
Yeah, with an 18, you absolutely hit. So, what would you like to do? You do have your like harpoon gun. Otherwise, you do have.
I for sure want to use the harpoon gun again. I'm vibing with the harpoon gun.
Okay, and I have your character sheet pulled up. So go ahead and okay. So yeah, you got a hit. So 1d8, and then it's just gonna be a straight 1d8.
Wonderful. A 4.
Good job. All right. So with that, the actual like harpoon gun flies through the air and impacts the chest of this creature. Okay, so let me fix that really quick. And then you see that it's looking really messed up. It's almost down, but not quite yet. As suddenly, it is now her turn as she opens up her eyes and looks to all of you. And let me read her stuff just to be fair to you guys. When a creature that can see the Medusa's eyes starts its turn within 30 feet, can force it to make it. Okay, so it's going to point to 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Let's go ahead and do the results of the poll. So go ahead and Rob, what is the results of the actual like poll for the betrayer ally? I'll go ahead and wait a little bit, but ally. Oh, cool. All right. So 6%. Nice. Oh, that was like almost close. All right. So she looks over to Lenore and Primus and opens her eyes wide as you guys can't help but just look into them. And she does her petrifying gaze, and it peers into you, but you guys, you have the willpower to resist. What do you feel as your characters, what do you feel like they would like lean into to make sure that they can survive this? I assume All Might, but what about like Primus?
I don't know. Primus is a very conflicted man. Like, he wants to do good, but he's also a minotaur that's been like overtaking town after town too. And then I feel like even like taking these like this group of people, these prisoners, he ends up befriending them as opposed to, I say befriend as a loose term, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
You could call upon like the power of friendship because you've never had that before until you found this.
That's
like,
true.
ragtag
It is very powerful.
I feel like, yeah, because like it sounds really cheesy and corny, but like he was that guy that's like a super big brute, but also, you know, in the end, I feel like I found a sense of purpose with these group of people.
He's like Wreck-It Ralph. He's like supposed to be the bad guy. He's this big lumbering buffoon, but he's found the power of friendship.
And
So
with
I think, yeah.
and
I'm
with
gonna
that
call upon the power.
of friendship, yes. So with that, it's enough to you feel your skin begin to gray and like almost become stone, but then something happens within you, and it just brings out the power of resistance, and you guys are able to resist it. But the woman still takes 3 melee attacks against you guys. So one of which goes to Muroki, which is let's see here, a 16 versus AC.
That does hit.
All right, you take 5 damage, and then one of the snake hairs ends up attacking Primus. As oof, I don't even know why I'm asking. That's gonna be a 13 versus AC. Does that hit at all? It should be armor class.
My armor class is 14.
Okay, so 13, yeah, it just bites against the plate armor, and it just, nothing happens to you at all. And then the last one is her other short sword, which goes against Muroki and does absolutely nothing because she's so anticlimactic. And then you guys are so powerful that you guys are ducking and dodging, and your armor's so thick, and your purpose is so strong that she's unable
Can I
to...
do something?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right, so I want to switch my armor. So and there's a purpose to this. I have a glamour-studded armor.
Okay.
So I'm gonna activate it by calling upon Ares. Ares Valor. So it is the shiniest of reflective armor that you've ever seen, because you mentioned something about her being vulnerable to things that are reflective. So it is going to be this bright, reflective breastplate that does have Ares in all of his glory. And by glory, I mean he is naked with a shield that covers the areas, the nether regions, with a vulture at his side and sword in arms. And so when I call upon that valor, instantly I put on that reflective armor to try to make sure that our enemy is at a disadvantage.
Perfect. So what happens is that, and we're gonna, so what happened, oh god, the Jasper thing is still up. Okay, so what happens is that you see that she tries to strike with longsword, isn't able to, oh no, she does it, hit you, and then you end up clattering to the floor where your bag actually gets exposed, and you see your other armor like slip out, and that's when you go and grab it. And right when you do so, she looks to you, and her eyes begin to illuminate. And as they begin to shoot out with their petrifying gaze, you hold it up to protect yourself, and it ends up bouncing back onto her. And you see immediately as she does a death rattle and death cry, her entire body begins to turn into stone, and then she just is left there, sort of as another statue amongst all the other victims that she's had. And you guys are like safe and sound and all that. So you guys have won and beated the Medusa, and
Wow.
yeah. All right. So we are going to. So what happens now is that you are in front of the eye of Diomendis. Who of you has the courage to pick it up? And it yearns to like all of you, but mostly
Jasper does.
yeah, Jasper does. All right. I will then roll and.
I don't trust anything that thing was near. So I'm gonna skeptically look. I'm kind of drawn to it, but I'm not going to approach.
Hey,
Okay.
Bird Boy, you should poke it with your talon and see what happens.
So, Sheldon, something
First of all,
about.
that's offensive. And second of all, I will do it because I am
But it's
subject to,
peer pressure, yeah. And then, so you walk over to the actual pedestal, and you
Can I fly over it, like, just without looking at it? And just wanna...
fly
Yeah,
over without looking at it, and you end up placing a hand on top of it, and a rush of knowledge enters your body as you realize that all you have to do to activate it is just give it a slight squeeze, but you feel it prick your skin so that it's some of your blood is actually put into the actual eye that now activates it. It will happen when you use it, like when you'd like to use it and all that kind of stuff, and you feel kind of exhausted from this experience. And at this time, you hear the sounds of the water that you guys came out from get breached as the terror tongues are there, and they tell you like, "Did you guys get the goods? Are you good to go?"
We did it.
If you're asking whether or not we crushed our enemies, yes, we did.
As they see the giant Medusa, and it's giant, and they're just like kind of like marvel at it, and like, glad you guys are on our side. And with that, you end up leaving this area, going back to the carriage, as you see, and like a garrison of Hammer of Cyprus begin to approach as you guys make your way out of this area and flee for your lives with the object in hand. And one of the terror tongues tells you that, like, listen, they're gonna catch up to us, so prepare you guys to fight. Like, we have nothing that can stop them. And then one of the other terror tongues is like, why don't you guys actually like use the item on them and see if it actually works? As they kind of motion to Sheldon, who has the one eye in his hand, as calls to him to. Would you like to use it on your enemies or hold off?
Just make sure it's turned the right direction first.
Selfie.
Sure, yeah, I go to, like, just show them. I'm like, yeah, we got it right here. And I show the eye to everybody.
Hey, look, guys!
It only activates
Like
when you.
Cyclops from X-Men and just
He's like,
obliterates
bzzz.
everything.
It only activates when you want to. Do you want to activate it on your enemies?
Yes.
All right. So you turn on the back of the wagon, and then you end up squeezing it a little bit, and the eye begins to peel open, and a blinding golden light comes out, and then all of a sudden, the wagons and the carriages and anything like non-organic just begins to fall and drift into the seas, into the depths, and everything. And everyone's like, "Holy shit! Oh my god!" And then they're like, "That's like terrifying power," because about 60 lives were just lost in the moment. I guess if you, like, kind of their horses, it would be even more than that, but yeah. And then with that, they turn to Lenore and Primus, and then they turn to Lenore and go like, "We will escort you back to your mission that we can continue forward with, like, spreading the light of All Might, while we escort Primus to a safe location in the Beastman Empire. That way he's not treated at Fort Treason, unless you want to live a new life underwater and be part of the, like, everything like that."
He could be a mercow.
I think I'm gonna do a hard pass on that.
I'm gonna go back to the army. I'm just gonna, yeah.
I'm gonna go back to busting skulls.
I'm gonna go back to spreading the good word, the only word that matters.
That only matters. Yeah. So with that, they go, all right, well, we're going to take Moroki and Ari and Sheldon to the Rebel base. That way they can actually go ahead and begin to help them with their assistance. From this point on, you all have the backs of Terror Tongue. So if you guys need any help, just let us know. And then with that, you guys break way and begin to...
But before they do, I say, you Minotaur, you fought with honor. You did not hesitate. And we know Ares hates those that hesitate, so I respect you. And you, you did good as well. Even though I will have to teach you about Ares later, if we ever cross paths again.
I'll pray for you.
And then, yeah, with that, Act 1 is, like, done. And then thank you guys again for, like, joining with, like, Amber Skies and Alyssa. We really appreciate you guys. And yeah.
let's this is amazing. This was so fun.
Thank you guys for all. I mean, I granted we didn't have a choice, but thanks for playing with me. That's like
they wanted to play with you.
You guys were amazing.
So much fun. Like, real talk. I think I'm like, this is the very first time I've never done anything like this. Like, period. Like RPGs, I'm always afraid of because I'm always like self-conscious and I'm like, are people gonna think I'm stupid or whatever? But honestly, you can't do that. And so it was just so much fun. And like, thanks for going with the flow with me. And I had a lot of fun with all of you.
And I was trying to tell her, like, D&D, if you've never had an impression of it, is so much fun because it itches like that part of your soul as a human that just loves telling stories and loves listening to stories. And so there's not, you know, any reason that you wouldn't like it because it's just like, it's instinctual to kind of like weave a tale. So super cool. And before we do depart and you go back to your place and I go back to spreading the word of All Might, I want to issue a challenge to chat right now because, guys, we are at the $1,000 goal. Let's talk about that for donations for the stream. The bar has been upped, however, to $2,000 because you guys already crushed it in the first half. And since this is already the halfway point, I challenge you that when we check back in later, we're going to hit 2,000 for the second half.
I hope that would be amazing, yeah.
So, and if our internet comes back up, we will be viewers for this second.
We're going to be in the
We're going to find a way to watch
it, yeah. Go to your neighbor's house or something, yeah.
Seriously.
Like, go borrow someone's Wi-Fi. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine because, we're going to have to, we got to watch the second half.
Yeah, and I see a bunch of friends of ours personally in chat right now. So thank you guys coming from my stream. Thank you for our personal real life friends for supporting the cause, y'all. You guys were amazing.
And thank you to the Geek Life for having us.
Of course. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
DM Jello.
DM Jello.
And before you guys go, let's do another recap. So starting with Amber and Alyssa, where can we find you guys online?
I am a Twitch streamer myself. I promise I'm not always doing that from an iPhone. When technology permits, it actually looks kind of pretty. You can find my channel, Amber Skies TV, all one word, Amber Skies, and then a television. And then Alyssa here sometimes makes guest appearances on my stream. We stream 4 days a week here from this lovely living space. And she has a super dope Instagram and does cool things there too. Alyssa the Coco.
It's not a super dope, it's just Alyssa the Coco. I don't really post a ton of stuff on
You're
there.
amazing. You're wonderful.
She's great. Don't let her fool you.
Exactly.
I just work here. Handler, our contraire. So, thank you once again. I'm honored.
Yeah, and then we'll go to Utahime. Where can we find you online?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitch. Utahime Cosplay, UTAHIME Cosplay, and then Brianna DeCoster on Twitter.
Perfect. Woo! And then Sam Sawyer.
You can find me online under the username Sam Sawyer. I do Instagram and Twitter and all those fun places, tarot cards, shows, fun stuff.
Dom, it is your birthday. You should not be donating to us. We should be donating to you. But thank you so much for helping contribute to the cause. You're amazing.
Happy birthday!
Yeah!
Dustin, it's your birthday?
No, not Dustin. Sorry, it's a viewer named Dom. Yeah. But Dustin also is really cool.
I'm sorry.
It's
no, not my birthday.
I'm so sorry.
I'll take it.
Happy birthday.
And then Dustin, where can we find the Final Boys and all that goodness?
I do a horror podcast with one of my best friends, Matt, and We talk about all things horror and cinema and pop culture. It's called The Final Boys, and The Final Boys on wherever you listen to podcasts or wherever you follow people on social media. I think we cover both of those.
Yeah! All right, good. So we're going to go ahead and take like a 15, 20-minute break really quick just to help out the other guests get on here, and then we'll go over the rest of our adventure, and then we'll go from that. But thank you guys again, Amber and Alyssa, for joining, and you guys are amazing and wonderful, and see you guys all soon.